Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's me, your girl Babsby, and of course this is Babsby TV. Oh, excuse the robe. It's cold. The temperature done dropped, and I feel like y'all can already hear my dryer going in the background because I am washing clothes. So I didn't want my little heater to be on because I don't turn my big heater on because I live in the south, and unfortunately it's cold in the morning, hot in the afternoon, cold like late at night, and then it's like a continuous cycle, so it just doesn't make sense to turn on like a heat like central heating. So I just have like a little space heater, and I don't know if you can hear it, so I just turned it off, and y'all just gonna have to enjoy my nice fluffy robe. But we are back with another review. It is Love in Hip Hop New York, season 2, episode 3, A Toast to Kimbella. So the show leaves off where the show picks up where we left off, which is with Chrissy and Yandy. They don't took their little fight outside, so they don't disturb the party. And Chrissy is just like basically getting in Yandy ass about this whole thing about Jim, and she was like, "You doing all that in front of these girls, and they don't understand the difference between you and a Somaya, you managing Somaya, you managing Mama Jones, and this and that, basically just throwing out stuff that don't even make sense because at the end of the day, she does not manage nan one of these people." So Yanni's like trying to clear it up for her, and Chrissy is just not trying to hear it. So Chris was like, "Well, I know how I can fix this and bring you down the level." And she was like, "Well, how you gonna do that?" Talking about, oh, about the lack of income. So Yandy looking like, oh, okay, well, I'm the one who helped him make his money. So, Chrissy, for some reason, you took that as an offense. And I'm looking like, Chrissy, she is the manager. Without a manager, unless Jenny know how to do all that stuff by herself, in retrospect, Yandy is the one who helps him make his money. She's the one who books the tour. She's the one who crunches the numbers. She's the one who makes sure that he's getting paid when what he's supposed to get paid, when he's supposed to get paid. And like I keep saying, for Yandy to be keeping up a career, and this show came out in 2011, for her to be keeping up with a career for a man who had not had a real hit since 2006, 2007, she is doing a very damn good job. I'm just saying, she just needs to just cut it out. But Yandy said, okay, so you think you're going to cut my income? Okay, we got something coming. Somebody meets up with her investor, and they go over the showcase, and the investor was like, he was overly impressed by her showcase. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if he putting on for these cameras or if he ain't never really seen a real showcase, or maybe it was worse ones than hers before. But yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. Sorry, the camera, like I got too much headspace and it's still not getting better. Let's see. Okay, that's better. Like, I'm like, okay, maybe he just ain't never had that many showcases to see, or maybe he done seen worse. Cause I'm like, you was overly impressed, or maybe he really thought this girl couldn't pull that shit off, and he knew she was lying through her teeth, and he was impressed that she even pulled something through. But anywho, he liked the showcase, so he lets her meet up with these producers that he hooked her up with. And his one of the men named is Swift. He's a producer out of California. And Swift has worked with the likes of 50 Cent, G Unit, and Justin Timberlake. So Somaya is, ready to go ahead and hop in that studio. Emily meets up with her realtor, and she finally gets the keys to her new home. And she's a little scared because this is the first time that she's going to be alone by herself without Fabulous because she's been with him since for 9 years. And I can understand how she would feel. Like, you feel like a bit of like, okay, yes, I'm doing this. Like, I'm scared, but I'm excited. And I can understand like you taking away something that you done put in 9 years with. And it's like now I'm going back to square one. And it's like, am I making the right choices? Should I stick around? But Emily, I really think you should take this time and really figure out yourself and dealing with your home, and just let Fabulous do what he's doing over there, and Focus on you and getting yourself back together and finding yourself because you have been lost in Fabulous and his shit, and you just need to focus on you. And that's what she was like when she sat down later on that night with her bottle of wine, because you know, girl always, take a time to reminisce and really, get her uh, philosophy on when she get her nice glass of wine. And she was like looking at the picture of her and her kids, and she was like, she realized what is her main priority now. Her main priority is her kids and making sure that she's happy before she can make sure her kids are happy. Yandy and Olivia meets up because Olivia is trying to figure out what the hell happened at that showcase that made Chrissy and Yandy start like cutting up like that. And Yandy was just like, it's always something with Chrissy. It's ever since she met her, it's always been something with Chrissy. It's always little bitty things. And she starts talking about how Jim ended up calling her phone that night, cussing her out, talking about how she disrespected Chrissy, and that basically being very disrespectful. And so at that point, Yandy thought she was fired because he was like, you can't get on my girl, then we can't do business. So she really felt like that was over. So Jim had been hitting up her phone all this time, and she had been answering because she's like, what the fuck you calling me for? You want to yell at me and talk to me disrespectful? Like, I'm not about to deal with you. And I just feel like, Yandy, if you felt that way and you didn't want to work with that man no more, or you feel like you couldn't work with that man no more, you should have just, the more professional thing to do was to just tell him, you know what, after you had a day and it was still not good, you should have told him, hey, I don't like how you talking to me. Let me go ahead. We're going to finish out this last little stuff that I have booked up for you. Once we're done with what I have booked up for you and everything is squared away money-wise, then you need to find you new management. And Olivia seemed like, even though Olivia and Chrissy are close, Olivia seemed to understand where Yandy was coming from with the whole thing, because at the end of the day, Chrissy, you was wrong. She's a manager. Of course, it's about a check. I don't care what type of relationship it comes down to with them. At the end of the day, business comes first, and I have to make money. I have to survive out here. And you don't work. You live off of Jimmy, so she must be doing something because you can afford to sit at home before this show happened. So you take those things into consideration next time you talk about cutting some checks. Tierra Marie is in New York. She's working on a new album. Y'all remember Tierra Marie from back in the day? Isn't it boys around and know how to make a girl feel? Know how to make a girl feel. She was signed to Rock Nation at that, not Rock Nation, what was Rockefeller Records at that time. So she's in New York and she's recording a new album. Don't think it ever came out, so don't you ask what song was on there. Because the damn show ain't hitting no damn radio waves. But she meets up with Emily because Emily used to style her. So she goes to see her new house and she was like, okay, yeah, this is nice. And asking her if she was going to get back into the date. And then Emily is just like, she's just not ready to date. And Tiara's just telling her, you don't have to get into nothing serious too soon, but you do need to put yourself back out there. And I'm with Emily on that. I think Emily needs to take a little more time just to focus on herself. First, get yourself together, make yourself whole, because if you go to the next man as a broken woman, it's just going to be a repeated cycle, because you're more than likely is going to attract the same man you just left. So build yourself back up, find confidence back in yourself, and then get your butt back out in the dating world. But if you just need a little yang, go ahead and get get yourself on the little app, get some man to take you out to eat here and there. If you not get satisfied by the many toys that the world has provided single women, then do that. But personally, I don't like to jump from pants to pants to pants like that. So I kind of put my little space in between so my count don't go high. Just saying. I'm just saying, you gotta do that. Put a little space in between there. Let the mileage, don't seem like it's racking up over the years. Kimbella is doing doing a little photo shoot for Black Men Magazine. Y'all, they said Black Men Magazine. And I remember the magazines for back in the day. My sister, that my first time, like, I remember when they used to be in Walmart and stuff, and I used to look at them, because you know, back then, like, the video girls was everything. Like, you knew the video girls almost like you knew the damn rappers they sold. And y'all would like look at the magazines. And I remember my sister had a magazine one time because she was doing like something for, was it a psychology class? Had to be, or sociology class. One of them, she was in college, so she had it. And I was reading the magazine, and they had this thing in there talking about how the video girls and like these groupies and stuff was talking about how like each rapper and singer like they penis size and stuff like that. And so you had to go on the website to go see it, and I snuck on that website to look at it and see what they was talking about. And I went back to school and I was telling all my homegirls about what they were saying about Usher and everything else. When I tell you, when you damn fucking teenagers you be looking up some shit you ain't supposed to be looking at. But anywho, so she's there doing the Black Men magazine. You know, that's the little booty magazines. And Yandy came out to support her girl, and she was just talking about what happened the night before at the showcase. And she was like, I just feel like at the end of the day, it really just boiled down to you because of what happened between you and her. And Kimbella's like, you know, I just realized like this girl just has a problem with having other successful women around her. And I don't know if that's the case. I think Chrissy do have a problem with having relationships with other women because she just off of last season and up to now, you have had a problem with everybody that you have came in contact with except for Olivia and Emily. You did it with Somaya before you even knew her. I mean, Kim is a kind of a different story because I can understand like if my friend don't fuck with you, I ain't fucking with you either. And then now with this whole Yandy situation, like you just always like just gotta throw your weight around. That's how she come off to me. You gotta throw your weight around. So Yandy starts talking about what happened, and she says what Jim did to her, and so she was like, "Yeah, Jim had a $25,000 show that he was supposed to do, and you think I gave a damn? Hell, the fuck no! I hate him business because since we talking about I ain't helping and this checks this, okay, well let's miss some checks." I was like, God damn. $25,000 is a lot of money to be missing, honey. I don't know if I would have missed that money. I might have had to like swallow my pride and get my damn money, but you know, you got more than I do. So Kim, you know, she's listening to everything, but she, you know, brings up the fact that she do still want Yandy to manage her because apparently Kim is a singer and she wants her to manage her singing career. Y'all, K. Michelle said it best. Y'all use this shit as y'all last resort when this is actually some people's lives. Like Kim. I ain't never heard Kim carry a tune at all, not even a whistle, not even a hum, and she talking about a damn singing career. And to this day, I have not heard Kim sing, hum, carry a tune, sing a melody. Not yet. So I was like, girl, here we go. Somaya goes and meets up with Swift in the studio, and they talk about her music. And he's just trying to figure out what type of sound is she going for and trying to create a sound for her. And she was like, you know, she always wanted to do something a little more sexier, but it just felt a little out of her element, and he wants to bring that out of her. And he starts asking about like her relationships and if she's with somebody, and she's like no, but you know she felt like a little flirtation going on. And I'm like, I feel a little flirtation too, but I don't know if it's flirtation or if he just being nice. So he was talking about how he was about to leave town the next day, and she was like, well, why don't we meet up and go get some Latin food? And he was like, okay, he agreed. So Somaya also finds out that Olivia is in the same studio out there too, because you know he works with all them people or whatever. So she goes to speak to Olivia to try to clear things up with Olivia, but of course Olivia got that little stank ass chip on her shoulder, so she ain't really trying to hear what Somaya got to say. So when Somaya gets in there, she was like, you know, thank you for coming to my showcase, and Olivia was like, oh, I was forced to go. See right there is where things was just wouldn't left for me. Like, bitch, stop fucking playing with me. So somebody was like, okay, well, even though you was forced to go, I'm still, going to thank you for coming. And so she was like, well, what did you think? And she was like, I just felt like you fell in the background of your background dancers. And she was like, well, I was dancing. She said, you did a little two step. You was not dancing. And somebody wanted to say if she did a two step or if she did a whole choreographed out thing. I'm gonna tell you somebody I thought I wouldn't even say he did a two step. I feel like you know what they be, talk rapping to the crowd or whatever. Like that's what she was doing to me. But we only saw clips. So Olivia just brings up the fact like, listen, girl, I really ain't cool with you because of all the shit that she was talking last season. And, I'm just not with that. And somebody was like, well, I understand, but you also said some shit too, because I saw in the blogs where you was talking about how I'm not on your level. And Olivia was like, you not on my level. And somebody was like, we are on the same level. And somebody said it right. Olivia, you is living in the past. And not a good past. Because I'm trying to think who don't have something out right now that can still live on their glory days. And I'm going to say Mariah Carey. Because she comes and she goes. But most people really just know her for, her earlier hits. Like, the butterflies and the heartbreaker and stuff like that. Like, Mariah Carey had like kind of fell off, but in the end she was still like a major diva. Or even Whitney, even in her death, nobody is on the level of Whitney. And I think that Olivia thinks she is in the ranking with them girls, and I'm like, Olivia, no, you living in your glory days like the girl who won prom queen and haven't did shit else. Like, that's what Olivia gives me. So Somaya came with a gift for Olivia, basically to try to mend the fences. And it was a pair of shoes. And I'm looking like, oh Lord, not no shoes, baby. But you had designed a pair of shoes for Olivia, and it was black pumps. They remind me of them Steve Madden shoes that everybody used to wear back then. That's what they remind me of. But they was black and it was glittery. And on the back of the shoe, it had Olivia's face. And on the bottom of the shoe, it had Olivia's face. It was a E for effort. The girl thought about you and she did it. And I would have just like been thankful. But Olivia can't. She can't just be nice. She thinks, I guess the girl's supposed to buy her a pair of fucking red bottoms or some shit. Tiara Marie was invited to the Black Men magazine launch party for Kimbella being in the magazine, and she invites Emily and Somaya. So when Somaya gets there, she realizes this is Kimbella's party, and she don't want to go in. And Tiara's like, "No, girl, what you gonna do? This your city. You gonna let this girl come into your city and force you out your city and make you stay in the house? Like, no, let's go." And Tiara was like, "Yeah, I knew it was her. It was gonna be her party, and I ain't give a damn. I wanted to go to the party. Emily need to bring her ass on in here." So when they get to their table, Yandy and Kimbella sees them, and Kim is like, "Listen, this is my party. I don't want no trouble at my party. I want to enjoy my party." So Yandy goes over there to try to make sure that the girls is not, trying to stir up no mess. And Kimbella is, and they was like, Tiara Marie was like, "No, we just here for the party." So Yandy goes to get Kim. Kim comes and tells them, "Hey, thank you for coming to my party." And that's when Emily was like, "Oh, I didn't know this was your party, because if I would have known this was your party, then I wouldn't even come." Okay, we got the little pew 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 shots being fired. So Kim is like, oh, "Okay, well, thank you anyway." And so they all sit down, and Tiara brings up the whole subject about her bringing up her sleeping with Fab doing that toast. And Kim basically reinstates what she was saying, like, "I was not trying to be nasty when I said it. I just did not want to be phony around this girl knowing that I had been with her man." And so Emily is just not being receptive of it. So they goes and do a toast, and Emily's like, "Yeah, toast to you for being the man's magazine in Black Men magazine, and just because you had the most black men in you, including mine." And pew 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 boo, like, woo. So Kim just sitting there with the damn fucking stupid ass face. And Emily gets up and leave because she is done. And I was like, all right, Emily, you got a little spice in you. I see it. Yandy meets up with Jim. It's been 3 days and she still hadn't answered his call. So she finally called Jim to meet up so they could talk. And Jim is mad that Yandy had to answer his calls because they missed out on that money for that show. And he was like, he admit that he took the personal over business and he should not have called Yandy phone like that. But Yandy needs to understand that she is causing a situation when she brought that book. And Yandy just didn't understand what the problem was. She said she having an issue with your mama. She want to be with you. The way to a man is through his mama. I guess how she feels. So she's thinking she helping the situation. And he was like, no. And he was like, and what will make you just not answer my phone calls? She's like, I'm not about to sit here and be disrespected. And at the end of the day, Jim, you was in the wrong. That was female shit. Female shit. You should have just listened to Chrissy. Wham, about the book. Wham, she dances to the song. Wham, she wants me to apologize to Kim. Wham, the shit that Chrissy always doing. Took it like you always do. Half listen and take your ass to sleep. What will possess you to call your manager to air out to your manager about how your girlfriend feel? Would you have did that to her if she was a man? I don't think so. And y'all really need to stop this whole my brother, oh, this deeper than it's a bit at the end of the day, it's business. And people have to remember to keep that nice fine line in between there. Yes, we might have been working with each other for years, but it is business. At the end of the day, business comes first. Yandy, if you did want to work with him no more, because of what he did, you should have put your 2 weeks notice in, finish out what you have already set up, and gone about your business. And Jim, next time you can't call people about what Chrissy feelings for the day is. Like, she always got something going on. So that was just irresponsible on your part. So Jim just wants them to go ahead and mend the fences because he was like, listen, we missing out on money. And once they start fucking with money, like, we gotta dead this shit. And I feel him because, listen, $25,000 is a lot of money to be missing out on. And I don't know how much either one of y'all net worth is at this fucking time, but money is money. Somaya and Swift meet up for lunch and it just bonding and he having her discuss about her past relationship and she opens up and talks about how she was with this guy who basically beat the shit out of her. She was like, she came home, he popped out the bushes, beat her over real bad, slashed her in the face, broke her nose, all kind of stuff. And it was like really sad, but Swiss was there and he was holding her hand and just making her feel very special and safe. And it was real cute. It was a real cute date. And I'm like, listen, y'all, I'm a hopeless romantic. So I want everybody to fall in love and be happily ever after. So I was like, oh my gosh, maybe they do have something together. But then the logical part of my mind was like, what if that man just trying to get her to open up and release all her feelings so he can create a good sound for her and maybe find a song for her? And I was like, that might be right, but we gonna think they got something going on. Okay. For a second. So last but not least, Yandy does what Jim says and decides to take Chrissy out to dinner just to try to clear the air between the two of them. And Chrissy doesn't seem like she really wanted to come down to smooth anything out. Chrissy was like, Yandy just crossing too many boundaries. It's the whole book thing. You bringing me that book. And she was like, I never discussed with you about this stuff with Mama Jones. And Yandy was like, she was like, well, I thought I was just helping. And it's stupid that you feel that way, but I apologize. And I was like, okay, Andy, that's not how you apologize to people. Like, even though if it's stupid to you, if that really hurt that lady feelings, then you just need to give her, like, an apology. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't know it was going to do that. That was not my intentions. And, I just, further on, I know that's a touchy subject, and I've touched it. And then she started talking about the Mama Jones thing. Now, I mean, it was a little mixed signals because y'all was all laughing when the song came on. So I mean, Yandy just took it to the next level and got up and danced because she thought we was all having a good time. And that's when she realizes that Chrissy started all that mess in front of the girls like that because you wanted to get back at Yandy for the stuff that Yandy had said about, with the book and her wanting you to apologize to Kimbella. So you just wanted to kind of, make her look stupid in front of everybody. And because Yandy was not very receptive of, wanting to apologize to Chrissy, a real apology to Chrissy, Chrissy gets up and tell her that she's just done with her. And I'm like, okay, Chrissy, well, you just need to be done with her because I don't understand what y'all friends for anyway. Y'all don't have to be friends. This is a show. And at the end of the day, she's his manager, and y'all don't really need to have no relationship with each other like that. Period. Well, that was the end of that. So, as I always say, if you're liking a video, continue to watch them, but make sure you're liking them. Make sure you comment so that we can, interact with each other. Also, make sure you subscribe because if you've been watching the videos, you should go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And more than anything, if you like it and you have a friend that likes this show, share it because it helps. And until next time, bye.